I am Chad SPUNJ virtual CSGO analyst from Australia. These are my completely baseless predictions for ESL Cologne. If you want to lose some money, listen to me. I'm really good at this. Okay, so we're going to be previewing the round 1 matches of the currently overused Swiss system. We have MOUZ versus fnatic as the first game, and I'm going to give you guys my tips on who I think is going to be winning these matches. If you lose your skins, that's good. I'm happy with that, so please keep betting. So with the MOUZ versus fnatic game, you know, fnatic have been struggling their way back up to the top, and MOUZ, you know, they just came off the back of that win in Bucharest for the major qualifier. So I'm going to be backing MOUZ on this one. They're coming off a high, they're really confident, and they're playing a really good brand of Counter-Strike, and I know their coach LMBT is always prepared. Immortals are another one who've just come off the back of qualifying in Bucharest for the PGL major, and they'll be going against Virtus.pro, and everyone knows the struggles that they've had recently. But I think the emotional high that Immortals are on will actually affect them more negatively than say VP, who are back to prove something. So I think Virtus.pro, they were playing in the E-League Clash for Cash, and there when I watched them play, they had a new invigorated style of Counter-Strike, and I liked what I saw. It's just they were going up against previous major champions, Astralis, and it didn't look so good for them. In this matchup, I think, you know, the maps will probably favour VP, and they're more of an unknown quantity, which is weird to say with them at the moment. And I think they'll come out swinging and take the match versus Immortals. So the Cloud9 versus NIP game, I'm probably going to make some enemies here from the North American fans. I do think that Cloud9 can go really deep in the tournament, especially based off of their play recently, and I think Stu and Automatic are two of the best players in North America by far. And the fact that Scoodle has stepped recently as well, and he's playing like a madman, I think that he has finally embraced the current style of Counter-Strike, because you watch him play with his rifles and stuff, and he's really lifted his game. But with saying all that, the two new additions of Draken and Rez to NIP, and the fact that now they're completely unknown in the way that they want to approach the game, and their map pool is completely hidden from everybody other than practice, is a very scary prospect. So I think in the opening rounds, NIP are going to shock the world and shock Cloud9 and take that match. All these matchups, we have another one, Na'Vi versus Liquid. It's one team that seems to have been going through a really rough time, and another team on the rise. And Liquid just got their hearts broken with that loss to, I think it was Flipside, and they went to triple overtime or something insane like that. And this team has really put in a lot of work, and you can see that they've actually, you know, they're playing the current meta of Counter-Strike and the way that they approach it, and they're really exciting to see. But once again, same as the Cloud9 prediction, I think that the unknown quantity that is Na'Vi, the fact that they haven't played a lot of tournaments recently, the fact that, you know, they've had a lot of time to work and just build for this tournament and have got to see everything that Liquid do, they have the upper hand going into the matchup, counter-stratting wise. And I know that Guardian just got married, so I think there's like a correlation to getting married and playing bad for a period of time. So we'll see how that fares, but I think it's going to be one of the closest matches of the whole first round, but Na'Vi to take it. So Heroic just got their best player stepped down off the roster, which is Valde, which was hugely surprising to see that happen, considering that team was on its way up. But you know, they have to be in the bottom 3 weakest teams, I'd consider, at this tournament, and going up against a FaZe who's hungry. They've made the finals of almost every, is it 4 in a row, I think they've made the grand finals of. So they're big stage players, and they're not going to be messing around here in Cologne. I think they have a really good approach to the game, and they're still evolving and they're still meshing as a unit, and this one is pretty clear cut. I think FaZe will take it. So Space Soldiers have Calix and Xantares, who I think are really exciting prospects of players, and I think they're going to be similar to like a Penta, where they come out with a really good game structure and catch SK off guard and maybe string the first 6 to 7 rounds together quickly. But SK just have all that depth. You got Fur, you got Cold Zero, Fallen obviously, and the system and the theory side of Counter-Strike that those guys employ, it's like unrivaled. So they can adapt and they'll adjust, and should be pretty clear for SK. Then it's not H1Z1, so China is not #1 in this regard. So I think G2 are just going to come out and hammer them out. Even though they have Peacemaker now as a coach, TYLOO, the language barrier is going to be too much for them to adjust quickly. They obviously have the chance to surprise if players show up, but it's just their decision making and their caliber just isn't there yet. So G2 should be pretty easy with this one. Optic, the best way I can put them is currently in the bin. So not only are they in the bin, they're like the bin juice. So when you go to take the bin out and you lift it up out of the trash can, and all the juice is is at the bottom. That's what they are right now, because you can see emotionally that team is completely belittled and destroyed, and nobody, even Mixwell, one of the best players in that squad by far, he's having a rough time. Rush is having a rough time. It's really just Naf and Tarek who are having good games, and they've been on a downward spiral since they lost Stan, which was a blow. I know that there was rumors about Rush and Mixwell actually wanting to leave the team when that happened and go elsewhere. So I think all of that emotion will be cropping up, and it's just going to be way too much for them to come out and be on top of it. It's not even a last hurrah for them, because they don't know what their direction is or where they want to go with the team, or from my understanding anyway. And I know North have probably changed some roles and styles and positions of players, and this is a proving ground for them going into the major, because I know there's sometimes doubts about how deep they can go in tournaments, but they're always a really solid unit. So North, for me, off the back of some fuck you performances from Magics and Config, should take this game. Hit subscribe, hit that fucking bell thing so you get updates when new videos come out, do all that kind of shit. Thank you.